So you don't put him in there this year because they don't have an offensive line.
No, he's going to play this year. It's just when does he play?
I have no idea what the plan is.
What is the plan? I don't know the plan. Do you know the plan? Bill doesn't know the plan either, but
it doesn't seem like anybody knows
some
the plan.
of the plans. So we're back, another episode of the Dan and Ninko Show, episode 137. And this episode, Ninko's down. He's down big.
Beaten like the Patriots right now.
I was beaten badly by Dan. But I don't blame it on myself. I blame it. I blame it on this.
Blame it on everybody else.
I blame it on the terrible, terrible NFL football product that we're watching right now. It is not good. Did you watch the Monday night games?
No.
Did you watch?
No, because
Tennessee
terrible
versus Miami?
Yeah, you had Tyler Huntley.
It is so
you had Tyler Huntley versus
bad.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, yeah. So
it's a barn burner.
And the Bears to beat the Rams. I know you picked the Bears,
the Rams
but
stink.
You wouldn't think that 72 quarterback rating, which is Caleb Williams, would be able to get a win over the Rams with. I don't know. I know they're injured, but
yeah, good. All the receivers are out for the Rams.
I mean, I feel like when you're watching the games now, it's flag after flag after flag after flag.
I think it doesn't. A lot of it have to do with the conditioning and stuff, like where they can't have normal training camps. So, like then you're grabbing and holding and stuff like that because you're just tired.
I think
you look
offensively, there's always holding. It's just the way it is. If I was coaching an offensive line, I would say hold them on every play because they're not going to throw a flag on every play.
30% of the plays.
30, to hold them on every play. I mean, they hold anyway. But I think some of the issues now that you're seeing are the lack of practice.
Yeah, it's the conditioning of it.
It's that, but it's also, I think some of the coaching right now just isn't great.
Soft.
Think back to just 10 years ago. There's a lot, the influx of younger coaching, all offensive-minded guys, the majority, some defense. But you don't have those older veteran head coaches that had the training camps, which I think probably helped long training camps with a lot of tackling and a lot of fundamental work and a lot of X's and O's stuff. You're limited in your time. But, for example, McDaniel, he's going to be under contract till 2028.
Yeah, no.
There will be another presidency vote. There will be a new president coming in office.
Yeah, but he probably won't be the coach, though. He'll just be paid until 2028.
I know. That's the thing that's crazy to me. These billionaires, which I think Miami, they just approved you could sell a portion of your franchise to private equity.
Yeah,
it's just approved. So they had Miami valuation, I think, at like $7 billion. Came in at like 8.1, and I think was it Ross?
Yeah, Ross.
Ross owns it. He's selling 13% of $8 billion. Right? If you're so smart as far as business, right? These guys are very smart businessmen. They make a lot of money, right? Why wouldn't you wait to pay a coach until they actually win something?
Yeah, but
all
then
these coaches get re-up.
You don't pay any of these players though either. I
just don't understand
look
it
at
because
the Patriots.
Right now, I think they have the longest losing streak versus good teams. I think it's like they're 0-11.
I don't think he's never really beat good teams.
That's the thing.
He beats up on the shitty teams.
My question is, at what point do the owners start to say, I want my coach to have perform before they get paid? Because if I pay them now, what's their incentive to win when he's guaranteed a contract? He's 100% going to make every single dollar of the contract that he just signed. Unlike players that have incentives, have injury clauses, have no guarantees unless you're Cleveland and you guarantee your quarterback. How'd that work out?
But it's going the opposite way because they are giving more and more money to like nobody coaches. I mean, look at the coaching hires this offseason, right?
I know. I like, who I do like? The head coach for Seattle.
Yeah.
He was
but
the DC.
How do you like the head coach of the Panthers that was a nobody? And then
But I think right now, jury's out with they look better with Andy Dalton as their
But what I
quarterback.
mean, though, is he becomes a head coach who's going to make a ton of guaranteed money, and like he was like an offensive coordinator, and like 3 years ago was in high school, like a high school coach.
It's wild.
Like that's the.
But look at
that's the thing.
You guys enjoying the show? There's a few ways that you can support the Dan and Ninko Show. First being subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Or you could become a super fan. Go to danandninko.com. First month is 50% off, so it's only $5 to subscribe. That gives you an exclusive chat with Ninko and I on Discord, access to exclusive content, 15% off our brand new merch store, which has some really cool stuff in it, our members only merch, and you get notified when we have special guests on the show.
So at this moment right now, I think it's called what, the 33rd team? The 33rd team is like this. They're like old executives, Bill's on the board.
Yeah.
I think Tannenbaum.
It's all his buddies. Lombardi, Tannenbaum.
Yeah, they started this thing. I literally was about to comment on a post, and it was basically comparing Brian Flores to McDaniel, and with the same amount of games played,
yeah,
Flores
one
is
more game.
One more game
with a lot less
talent. They deleted it. But as I was writing a message, it was out. It was off.
Oh, wow.
It was gone. So somebody must have said, take that down. Take that down right now. And they
It's
took
the
it
truth,
down.
though. And Flores is a defensive coordinator doing a really good job.
The
for
Vikings look really good.
I mean, he should be a head coach.
They're like the number one team right now in the power rankings.
But that's what I mean, though, is you have a lot of guys, too.
But he's got a young head coach. So you have...
Yeah. But you have a lot of guys though that are really good head coaches
Kevin
that aren't
O'Connell.
getting jobs, right? Like him, Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel should be ahead.
That's
well,
what I mean.
You look at Tennessee right now. You paid Vrabel too. Vrabel's making head coach money right now.
Plus, you can
for
pay
the
the head
next
coach.
3 years. You paid him.
Yeah.
The guy's made more money as a coach than he did as a player, which I mean, that's awesome. I love it. But at what point do you just say, I want my coach to perform, and until he performs, I'm not paying him?
Yeah.
You know, these guys make these big contracts, they get extensions, and then they like, how long does and everyone's talking about the Dolphins right now just because of Tua? It's not just because of Tua's out. If it was just because Tua, like, so when Tua comes back, which he's going to come back, they're going to just be right back. You got Tyreek Hill pacing the coaches.
Yeah.
You see that one picture of the coaches?
Yeah.
They're just staring like this. And Tyreek Hill's behind him, like, yelling.
Yeah.
Every coach is looking forward.
That's the mentality you built, though, of your team. Good. I mean, I kind of. Speaking of coaches, did you see Belichick talking about the Patriots on the Pat McAfee show? You find that clip, DJ? It was his last one on the McAfee show when they were talking about that Mayo said that they have a plan with Drake Maye, and they brought.
Oh,
it up
he
to
said,
Bill.
no, I didn't see that though. What did he say about
the plan? I think it's right here. It's that one, TJ.
Let's see. Let's listen.
Oh boy. Let's see what Robert thinks on this one.
Why is he looking like that?
Because he has his camera down.
Somebody needs to tell him to put the camera up. Higher. Put it up a little bit.
TJ, you could help him with that.
Yeah. New England Patriots right now. Coach Mayo has come out and said, we have a plan. Jacoby Brissett is our starter. He is our starter going forward. You got a lot of Patriots fans calling for Drake Maye to get in there because of how the season's going. Then you have some Patriots fans saying, behind that offensive line, that's what we want Drake Maye to do. Have you been paying attention to it all? How do you feel like Coach Mayo is handling it? What do you think is the conversation that should be had about having a plan for a rookie quarterback and either sticking to it or kind of veering off whenever things aren't going as maybe everybody outside the building thought it should go?
Right. Well, Pat, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what the plan is, so I don't know. I can't comment on that. If Mayo says he's got a plan, then I guess he's got one, and we'll have to wait to see what it is. I don't know, but I'd say there's a number of issues there. One is can't move the ball and can't score. Got a touchdown off the field goal on 63-yard field goal, whatever it was. or a field goal, and then got a touchdown off the fumbled kickoff. But otherwise had a hard time moving the ball. And I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but the amount of time that Purdy had to throw was pretty high. I got to think that in terms of the amount of time before the ball was released, had to be the highest in the league or close to it. So I think there are some pass rush issues there. There are some scoring issues, and the Joey Sly was that's a great addition for him. They got a good kicker. That's a big upgrade from where we were last year. But I'd say there's some other things that have to be worked out, and obviously they got the protection straightened out. That cost them the game against Seattle on the block field goal. But we'll see. We'll see what the plan is. I have no idea what it is.
He put a "we" in there. He said "we."
Are you concerned with the plan?
I'm not. No, the plan. What is the plan? I don't know the plan. Do you know the plan? Bill doesn't know the plan either. But
it doesn't seem like anybody knows
some
the plan.
of the plans. Some of the planning. You look at what the roster and some of the issues that they have right now coming into this season. What was the number one thing we talked about? Protecting the quarterback, the offensive line.
And what did they do about it?
They didn't address
They
some
signed
of
a
those
right
issues.
tackle that
They
didn't want to play left tackle for $2 million. Chucks Okafor. That was their addition to this team. Chunks Okafor. Who left the team.
What was available? You have to look at what's available. Were you willing to spend or overspend on somebody who potentially... Okay, so I was listening to that people were saying, bring back Trent Brown.
Well, he's out for the season.
I know he just tore his patella, which sucks. But
he would be a massive upgrade to this team.
He wouldn't be on the field. He would have tore his knee up.
I understand that, but you haven't had that happen, right? You knew you drafted the number 3 overall pick, and you had to protect them.
You have the quarterback,
and you did nothing for it, really. You could have. Could there have been a trade?
What could they have done though?
There's still available free agents. There was free agents back then.
Jason Peters just signed in the practice squad for Seattle. He
was available.
40-something years. I probably didn't. And then that's another thing. What are you willing to spend in free agency?
Yeah.
Right. When there are other things that we talked about. Who's the number one receiver? Okay, Polk looks pretty dang good. That was a catch, by the way. Wasn't that a catch?
I don't know why you didn't challenge it.
I know, but it looked like a catch. Well, they say if the defender is out of bounds and any part of the receiver touches, it looked like a catch to me.
Yeah.
But some of the issues are in the draft, and Bill was a part of the last few drafts, so there's issues that go far beyond just this season.
When you're $50 million under the cap, though.
I know, but it rolls.
$50 million.
It rolls. They went after certain guys. They just didn't sign here.
Why would they?
Because why would they sign here?
Yeah,
you
should have known that up front.
Who's the 49ers receiver that we went after?
Ayuk.
Didn't he just ask for a trade? Something going on with Ayuk right now?
No, he asked for the trade. He asked for the trade, and then the Patriots had the trade for him.
I think it's recent, right now.
I don't think so. He got paid.
Brandon Ayuk.
No.
News.
No, it's been nothing with him. People are saying they should trade him for Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams wants the trade.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, is if you're the Patriots, shouldn't you have known up front that you could throw all this money at a wide receiver, and the thing they were going to come back and say is, I don't want to go to a team that Jacoby Brissett is your quarterback?
They didn't know that they didn't have the number 3 overall pick yet.
Yeah. With Ayuk? This was during the season. This just happened.
But there's also things that certain people don't want to leave California, or certain guys want to be in Texas, or certain guys want to be in Miami.
I don't think that was it, though. He just didn't want to come here. Because the thing is, look at this, right? Polk, I think, and I might be wrong, I might be right, I think he has the 3rd best separation of wide receivers in the NFL this year. And he's got 3 catches. Pop Douglas is wide open half the game.
There is a
got
moment.
no catches.
Look at Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, he played in one game. He talks about how that was very important to his development, right? Granted, they had Alex Smith.
That's the problem.
Okay, they
didn't have Alex Smith. He'd be on the field.
But what if he would have been out there and things didn't go the way that they went, and he wouldn't be the guy that he is right now? You don't know. That's all speculation. But there's a physical and a mental side of football. There's a big, big, big probability that if you're a young guy in a tough situation where the offensive line isn't doing great. I mean, look at Caleb Williams is not playing great football right now. He's got one of the worst quarterback ratings in the league, 72. Okay. He's been sacked 16 times.
Yeah.
He had a game where he was sacked 7 times.
But
that's not it. He's out there rolling his eyes at other quarterbacks, telling him not to take so much damage because he's probably like, get the hell away from me. I don't want to hear this right now.
But you have the opposite. You have the opposite though in the NFL right now in Jaden Daniels, who does not have a good offensive line. He doesn't have a lot of Jaden Daniels.
His offensive line's is ranked middle of the pack right now, 15th,
because of his ability to move. Because they can't. It's tough to blitz him. It's tough to send extra pressure because he can burn
coordinator?
The Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah. But that's part of it. You went out and got a new offensive coordinator in the Patriots, and they came up with the cheapest available option, which was free, which was Alex Van Pelt. And Alex Van Pelt has never really had a mobile quarterback or somebody that can move. Like he just wants a stationary quarterback, somebody to stand in the pocket. So he wants Jacoby Brissett because that's going to run his offense. You'd have to change the complete offense to put Drake Maye in there. Drake Maye is going to be more RPO
you got to move him around.
But I think that the offensive line is also getting somewhat of a bad rep a little bit because Jacoby is stationary. He can't find receivers down the field, so they're sending pressure at him. They're blitzing him. They're sending extra men, and it's tough for an offensive line to block. I mean, you're a defensive player. I mean, if there's 5 offensive linemen and 7 pass rushers.
I would love to pass rush in 2020.
Like Zolak pointed out, he kept showing all these, all the plays from the game. They have like single high safety, everybody up in the box. Like, because they know Brissett can't do that. But if you have Drake Maye in there, you can't do that. If you do that, right, can't Maye just burn you?
Depends on if you're bringing corner pressure and he freaking runs into the guy. And
I understand that. But if he can figure it out like he has already in the preseason and then that one game that he got into, like the one drive where he sensed the pressure up the corners and took off down the middle.
I don't want to see Drake Maye coming into a football game at the end of the game because the defense already knows we won the game.
Your ears back and
Let's go get sacks. I don't care about the run.
Yeah.
Who cares? Let's just go get the quarterback. So if he is going to get into a football game, I want him to have be declared the starter, have the week of prep, go in the first series of the game, not at the end of the game.
I agree with that.
When will that happen? I don't know. I don't know. David Andrews going down right now does not help.
This game was the perfect game to do it.
This game, no more Tom Brady. He's gone.
Yeah, no, I wonder why.
No more Tom. Tom was coming home. Everyone's going to be excited.
This was the perfect game to do it in because Miami is not a good team.
They lost their pass rush. They lost 15.
Yeah, you could maybe get that win. You could get that win, get something under his belt, start momentum going. This was the week to do it. And the people that are sitting there going, well, I mean, he's going to get beat up and all that. He's your backup quarterback. Like, he is your number 2 quarterback on that roster. So if your number 1 quarterback goes down, he's in the game. If you really wanted to stash the guy, why wouldn't you just put him on IR?
No.
But that's the thing though, is if you're using the logic of he's not going to be able to play behind this offensive line, does anybody really have confidence? So you don't put him in there this year and because they don't have an offensive line.
He's going to play this year. It's just when does he play?
What's the difference though if you're saying it's because of the offensive line?
Now. What's the difference between now and week 10?
Yes, but what is the difference? The offensive line is not getting any better. And next year, I mean, at the rate they're spending money and the rate they've done over the last 4 or 5 years, they're not going to fix that offensive line again.
They have to spend money.
We keep saying that,
though. It can roll over to the next year.
But they keep rolling it.
Yeah, but I think within 4 years of the CBA, you have to spend at least 80% or 90% of the salary cap.
There's ways around that, though. because they can convert like salaries to signing bonuses that then they jack the cap up in that 1 year. So it's
look at Kyle Vanoy though. Kyle Vanoy has got 6 sacks right now.
I actually talked to him. He was like,
the dude's eating right now.
Kyle wanted me to tell you.
Kyle, I'm jealous.
Hold on. Kyle wanted me to tell you. I'm gonna just read it word for word.
Dang it. He loves it too. Tell Ninko.
Ask Ninko who has more sacks, me or him.
He just passed me.
I know. By a sack and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Killing it this year.
He is playing well.
No, but he found the right scheme to be in. It's what it is.
They're using him well, but they also have a good rotation.
Yeah.
It helps when you can go in, come out, catch your breath, go in, you know what you're doing, you know what your role is. He's doing well, he's pass rushing well. And also offensive linemen stink these days, so that helps him.
Well, you gotta be up now. You can't be backed off. The tackles can't be backed off.
You gotta be legal. But no, Kyle's doing well. I'd love for Felger and Maz to. What do they got to say about that?
Oh, nothing.
They used to rip on him all the time. It's stupid.
They won't say anything about it.
I know.
All right, so back to the Patriots. Whose fault is it right now?
I don't understand what that question is. Whose fault is what right now?
Where the team's at right now?
Previous draft years.
No.
That's the problem right now.
How almost everybody you signed this offseason were your draft picks.
I'm talking when's their last offensive lineman? Who was their last drafted tackle?
Mike was on the team.
I'm saying
Big
like
Mike.
A high draft.
Who
pick.
they actually they drafted one? Well,
yes.
that's not really missing on one. You just haven't.
They haven't.
You should have did it this year though, and you didn't.
That one kid from. No, but then you don't get Drake. So if you don't,
you could. There was still good tackles in the second round of this draft. There was a lot of good tackles in this draft. There was actually I forget who it was, and somebody can go on and put in the comments. There was a tackle that was taken after Layden Robinson.
Here's my question to you: what was your expectation for this season? What was your expectation? And we talked about expectations. What is everyone's expectation from the fan base?
To get better.
To get better. Okay.
And it's not.
They're 4 weeks into the season.
It's getting worse. So every week it's got worse.
They played on a Thursday night short week against the Jets.
Yeah.
They traveled to California to play a good 49ers team.
With a bye week, kind of a bye week almost.
They played a good. They have a bunch of injuries.
They're not that good though.
They have a bunch of injuries. You lose Bentley, right?
Yeah.
Duggar. You lose Duggar.
But you're always going to have injuries though. That's the thing. You're always going to have it.
Of course you are.
That's why you have a backup
The
plan.
49ers are dealing with injuries. I get it, but. What do the 49ers? They have number one, their offensive line is legit, right?
Yeah.
Their quarterback is on his rookie deal still and is good, right? Their receiving core is what? Beastly.
I think the Patriots receiving core is fine.
No, they are, but the firepower it's completely different. It's completely different. Now, Miami this week at home, division game. This is a big game. This is a very big game. This is a huge game.
Miami might be worse than the Patriots right now.
When you watch Miami play that Tennessee game,
it's bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad.
The Patriots, though.
I'm saying, in general, you look around the league, and I've said it before, the quality of play is not great. You have a couple teams that are really good, right?
Yeah.
You got 4 teams. Vikings are playing great. Kansas City, they're not really firing on all cylinders. They just lost their big-time fast receiver from an ACL, which that sucks. Friendly Fire got him. Baltimore, How did Baltimore beat Buffalo? 200 yards on the ground.
Baltimore's good.
I know, but I'm saying Buffalo was looking really good, and they couldn't stop the run.
Buffalo always does that, though. They're always this roller coaster. That's just what they are.
I'm not at the point right now where. That you can clearly define where the issues are. I'll say it's the roster from 2 years prior.
But you did nothing this offseason to fix it, though. You did nothing.
Who is their
big
What did you
signing?
want them to do? They wanted them to go spend a ton of money on a free agent tackle. Tell me the free agent tackles who are going to be worth $20 million a year. Like I don't see it. I don't see it.
So to start,
historically, building through free agency is not the way to build a roster. It's through the draft.
Not. Yes, you have to draft, but you didn't draft a tackle though. You knew you needed a tackle. You didn't draft one. That's the problem. Like, that's the thing is, so you can say it's previous drafts and all that, but you got to start fixing things. But if you knew that one of your big problems was tackle, why wouldn't you draft a tackle? You didn't draft a single one. That's the issue. Like, so you didn't sign anybody in free agency, but you didn't draft anybody.
Old football player. I don't know anything.
Oh yeah. But here were the tackles available: Tyrone Smith, Trent Brown, Big Mike.
I like Mike.
Mekhi Becton, Jonah Williams, Jermaine Illuminor, Donovan Smith. I think Donovan Smith's still a free agent, by the way. George Fant, Cam Fleming. None of those. The only guys that signed for big money.
I'm not paying any of those guys.
But there was only two guys that signed for big money, which was Tyrone Smith and Big Mike. Nobody else signed for a lot of money.
I thought the dude from Cincinnati signed.
I don't think it was that big.
But listen, you have 2 tackles and 2 guards and a center, right?
What do you mean? Like
there's a whole. It's not just one piece. You have to make sure that
everybody. But you're not paying anybody though. Like, you don't have it anywhere.
You just paid Big Mike.
Yeah, and he that was a tough one. But Jonah Williams was 2-year, $30 million, so $14 million guaranteed.
2 years, 30.
Yeah,
$15 million a year.
That's not a bad. That's not like it. That's not breaking the bank. That's not huge money for a tackle right now. So outside of Big Mike, I don't think anybody makes over like $6-7 million a year on that offensive line for the Patriots.
I think. Well, David is hurt now.
But I don't think
say
he was
what
that high.
Did they say anything as far as is David out? Is there anything that's come to be about that?
Surgery.
He's having surgery?
Yeah, he's out.
Now that's tough too, because it's your center. That's the guy that's kind of a glue guy. They've lost some big guys this year. Bentley's a big one. Peppers, I love Peppers, man. I wish you could have seen, if you watched the tape, the last couple plays of that 49ers game. He comes in and just destroys the fullback. Just the last play of the game is actually just a run play, and he misses the first tackle, comes back around, hustle, makes the play. I mean, and then Bill talks about the pass rush. Okay, the depth right now isn't ideal. You usually have a decent rotation. They lost one of their good players in Seattle, 93. I can't remember his name. He was the guy in the preseason that was having a good preseason. Tore his ACL on punt. He was a guy that could come in, as a changeup guy. Uche is probably having to play certain amount of snaps that aren't ideal because he's another changeup guy. He's a guy that you bring out there on 3rd and longs or 3rd downs, 2nd and long, get after the quarterback. I think I love Keon. We talked about Keon, but it's hard to go from playing on one side, and he's a move guy, so he'll go on the left side, he'll go on the right side, he'll be inside, he'll be outside, he'll be the outside linebacker. When you're playing a team like the 49ers and they're, they got the missile motions and the speed, and then you got to keep the quarterback in the pocket. That slows you down trying to keep the quarterback in the pocket, and the freaking guy got out, which is that's not easy, and it slows you down when you're trying to keep a guy in the pocket. What are we watching? Last play of the game. Look at 5. Whoop. Okay, keep going. Out of bounds. Make the play. That's the last play of the game. That's hustle.
Yeah. What
that's
you see?
Hustle.
You see Godshaw come out and talk about what happened with the defense on the radio?
When?
A couple days ago. That too many people are freelancing. Nobody's really setting the edge or doing their job. Everybody's just kind of out for themselves.
The setting the edges on a defense. Number one, you gotta have the technique to do it. You gotta have the proper technique, hand placement, footwork, scheme stuff. You have to have the right personnel people on the field. At the losing, I'm saying it, when you lose Bentley and you have to change some pieces around, you got to put guys in different spots because you can't run with the same personnel that you had when you had certain guys that were healthy. So guys that have to go on the line of scrimmage. I mean, when Hightower was on the line of scrimmage, he was a better off the ball linebacker. He could go on the line of scrimmage and rush. Very good. Setting the edge is different from on the ball versus off the ball. It's not easy. So sometimes Hightower would have to go up on the line of scrimmage, or Jamie Collins would have to go up on the line of scrimmage. Those guys are better off the ball linebackers because they have time and they can see and they can read. Now, when you're put in those positions, it's tough. And then your inside guys are starting to get stretched out. In like a zone team, when you're playing a zone stretch team, their goal is to separate the defense, have guys on the outside running to the edge. The inside guys start running because they think the ball's stretched, and then the ball cuts straight up and down, and that's the problem. So I think right now there's too many deep balls. They've had a couple balls over their heads.
Yeah. Yeah, the DK Metcalf one was a bad one.
The DK one was a blown coverage. And he's a guy that you can't let get behind you.
No, not at all.
Can't have guys running back, on their back into your defense and getting over the top of you. Like, that's not ideal. Some plays are going to be made. When you have a guy like DK or you have a guy like Ayuk, they're going to make plays. It's just, that's the NFL. But, it doesn't help when the defense. What was time of possession total in the game? That's a sixer. That's strong. Time of possession. 20. It was 20. Was that 29? 28-31. I mean, it's not crazy.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. 31-29, 25.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
So it's not like you're having this crazy discrepancy in time of possession. The fumbles, they hurt. You gotta protect the football. You gotta hold on to the football. Like, that's vital. That's everything. The fate of the team is in your hands if you touch the football. So they gotta be better. And this week coming up, they got a quarterback who is gonna give you opportunities. Who's the one guy you gotta stop? Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
So he's going to do all the missile. He's going to do the quick stuff. If he's in a little stupid 3-point stance by the tackle, he's going somewhere. He's involved. So there's got to be a big alert there, big keys there.
Patriots are actually favored in the game.
Yeah, it's at home. Miami's reeling.
It's the first game.
I need a beer. You guys enjoying the show? There's a few ways that you can support the Dan and Ninko Show. First being subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Or you can become a super fan. Go to danandninko.com. First month is 50% off, so it's only $5 to subscribe. That gives you an exclusive chat with Ninko and I on Discord, access to exclusive content, 15% off our brand new merch store, which has some really cool stuff in it, our members-only merch, and you get notified when we have special guests on the show.
I'm drinking a 603 because we are in the lovely state of New Hampshire.
Live free.
Live free. Taxes.
Might be
pretty good on the taxes.
Yeah. There's actually some more tax breaks I think might be coming into New Hampshire. If they legalize like marijuana, then it might lower property tax. Something like that.
So we were talking about the Patriots and the 49ers game. I knew that was going to be a tough game across the country. Now this game at home, Miami, I have a whirlwind of a next couple days here.
Why?
Because I'm gonna cover college this Saturday, Mountain West, for TNT, and I'm flying to Atlanta.
On radio or
no television?
Oh.
So I'm flying to Atlanta. I'm going to be with Victor Cruz and Tikio Spikes.
You gonna do the salsa?
I'm gonna try. I'll learn. Yeah, but me and Victor, we worked together for my first 2 years at ESPN. And then he went to Broadway, but then that got screwed up because of COVID. But it'll be cool. I'm going to fly out, but I do have a crazy schedule. So I fly out tomorrow, work Saturday, leave Sunday early, get back here at 8:30, go right to the stadium for 2 separate appearances, go into the stadium, do a couple things, leave at 1:30 or 1:45 to go to Boston, have a thing in Boston till
What thing?
DraftKings.
No.
So I have a DraftKings thing.
Where, at Encore?
No, it's at Lincoln. So I'll be at Lincoln from probably 2:30 to 4:30. So it's going to be...
Ninko making all the money.
It's going to be...
Making all the money here.
It's going to be a lot of traveling in the next 3 days. But...
What happens
to
if
college-
your flight gets delayed? You know, like...
Let's not put that on. Can we not put that on?
Where's the game at that you're going to cover?
The game is... It's actually... So I'm going just to a studio. The game is going to be San Jose.
You're not going to the game.
No, it's going to be out west, right? So they do the studio. You go to the studio.
You watch it on the monitor.
You watch it in the studio. But speaking of college, I had this whole discussion about the NIL and what guys are making right now and how, Shador, the Sanders brothers, Deion himself. Do you think Deion's the head coach for Colorado next year once his sons are out of there?
I think if he wants to be.
I think he'll be an NFL head coach next year.
No, stop.
I do.
No fucking way.
I do. I think he'll be an NFL head coach next year.
No way.
I do. One of these NFL coaches, you talk about these NFL owners and how they fall in love with these certain coaches. I guarantee there's an owner out there that would love Deion Sanders as their head coach. I'm telling you. It could be a possibility. Think about it.
No.
There's going to be Jacksonville, Giants, Cowboys. Who else? Who else is going to have an availability? Eagles. Jacksonville has Deion. Like, I could see Deion in Jacksonville and Dallas.
Yeah, he'd have to go. No.
I could see Dallas. Jerry Jones knows him. He played for the Cowboys.
But Jerry wants
He
to
might
win.
draft. They might draft.
Bill Belichick's
son-
going to be in Dallas.
What's that?
Bill Belichick's going to be in Dallas.
You think Bill will be in Dallas?
Yeah.
I could see Bill with the Giants.
I could see him in Dallas.
So I could see Bill going back to the Giants because he loves the Giants. He's got all his stuff here in the New England area. It's a quick flight to his place in Nantucket. If he wanted to go back to his homes in Nantucket, he goes to Nantucket, PJ back to New York.
But
it's probably a 40-minute flight.
But Bill's not going to go. I don't think he's going to want to go rebuild something.
I don't think I think Bill's mentality is if my coaching style goes into a place with a little bit of talent, I can turn him around.
Look at Danny Pennies.
He's actually played better.
Danny Pennies.
He's played better the last couple of weeks. He has played better.
2 weeks out of what? Out of how many?
4. He had 2 bad weeks.
Yeah, but I'm saying in his career.
College right now, let's say 2000. I'm going to go to my last year in college. So I'll go 2005, 2006, USC, right? If you were to have a top 5 NIL money player from 2006 to present, so over the last 20 years, I'm going to come up with a list of 5 players that I think their NIL money would be astronomical. Okay? So my number 5, I'm going to go with Vince Young. That's my number 5. Okay?
It's going.
Vince Young. He would have killed it. Texas, the money. I wonder what not Archie. I wonder what Manning's making. What's his first name?
Archie?
Is it Archie?
Yeah.
I wonder what
think
Archie.
It's $1 million.
He's making $1 million bucks.
I'm almost positive.
Archie Manning NIL. And the majority of these are going to be quarterbacks because at the end of the day, that's the spot. So,
it's Arch Manning.
Arch Manning.
Archie's the day.
3.1.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
That's
he
good.
estimates according. Okay, so you don't know.
Yeah, he's 3.1 million.
3.1 million?
Yeah. Queen Ewers, who he plays behind, is 1.7 million.
What? He makes more money than the starter?
Yeah, but that's only because Quinn Ewers hurt.
Dude, that's crazy.
He's a freshman, though, too. I mean, it's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to be good.
Yeah. Okay, so, dude, this one's tough because I think back on the craziness of college sports at USC. So
you got to go to like
Matt
big
Leinart,
schools.
okay? And now I'm thinking like my era, but from the time, I know there's been a bunch of quarterbacks that had great careers in college, but USC back when they were winning national championships, like Matt Leinart,
Yeah, he was huge.
would have made so much money.
Yeah, I agree.
So
with that.
much money. So I'll go Vince Young, Matt Leinart. My number 3, which Reggie Bush, if Reggie Bush was a college senior in 2024, he was electric. He might make 12 million.
They gave him back his Heisman.
Yeah,
right?
because it's stupid. It was so silly.
Yeah.
Think about that. They were going after him so hard to take away his Heisman, take his name out of all the record books,
Yeah.
everything, the NCAA. And then they passed this whole NIL thing, and they're like, yeah, not a big deal. Here's you're really good. We'll put
They
you back.
took his trophy from him, didn't they?
Yes.
Like, took it, right?
They took his trophy. So that's Reggie could be. I mean, dang, he could be number 1.
Could be.
So I'll go number 3.
You said Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. I'll go number. This is tough. Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
If Johnny Football, if he trademarked this one right here,
A ton of money.
Texas again.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Think about like how big Johnny Manziel was, and he was taking cash.
Yeah.
But now that it's legal, and then my number 1, Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow.
It was the Tebow mania. The craze.
There were Saturday Night Live skits
I know.
on Tim Tebow. David Bowie. Jesus Christ to Tim Tebow.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Tim Tebow. If Tim Tebow was a senior right now, he'd be making 15 million.
No.
Yeah. Dude,
He'd be making like
he was
7-8
so
million
big.
bucks.
He was so
9 million
big
bucks.
his senior year, and how the influence that
10
he
million
had.
or more is the estimate.
The estimate 10 million or more.
Imagine that though. College making 40 mil. 4 years of college.
Now there's other guys in there. Like there's definitely other guys.
You forgot some.
I definitely forgot some,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking like of
Of the
like
2006
magnitude. And but Tim Tebow was after that. He was after 06 and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like college football at that time, and you had Ohio State, and you had USC, and you had Florida. They were just the big dogs. They were the top dogs.
I don't have Reggie Bush in my top 5.
No.
I got all quarterbacks. So I got 5 Vince Young,
Vince was
4 Baker Mayfield,
Oklahoma.
yeah,
Yeah.
3 Johnny Manziel,
Yep.
2 Tim Tebow,
Who's number 1?
Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam Newton.
I mean, he was electric.
But was Cam Newton? I feel like Cam Newton's like professional career, right? So think of it this way: Reggie Bush, his college career to his professional career. His college career, he was basically every play was a human highlight. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
In the pros, he still was great. He had a long career, but he wasn't insane like he was in college. In college, he was creating something that we had never seen before.
Yeah, but the thing is, his personality, right, and the way he is.
You think that Cam
social
Newton,
media wasn't a big thing back then? Now it is.
Tim Tebow versus Cam Newton?
Yeah.
You think Cam Newton would have been made more money than Tim Tebow?
Just think of
Tim Tebow had all the prayers and the Tebowing.
Trust me, I get it. But Cam Newton, if you had social media the way it was, like it is today, he would have been all over it. He would have blown Tebow. I don't think Tebow would have done social media.
Oh, honorable mention. McCaffrey.
No,
you don't think so?
He wasn't that big in college, though.
What?
An honorable mention.
He was huge.
An honorable
at Stanford.
mention.
He was unreal at Stanford.
An honorable mention. You have to go defensively because we all picked all offensive players.
We did.
You got to say Sue, the Dominican Sue. Or Ed Reed.
Sue was a freak.
Or Ed Reed.
Sue is a freak. I mean,
Ed
still
Reed.
a freak. He could probably. I don't know why he stopped playing football. He could easily dominate.
Well, think about it. If there was an NIL, just think of that Miami team with like Shockey, Ed Reed, Vince.
Yeah, they were pretty nasty.
McGahee.
They were serious.
They would have probably been the most grossing team, right? Like
probably
of NIL
just
deals.
like
you probably had 10 people at over $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a cool what if though if you get to something like that because you do got to weigh in all those pieces of like social media aspects and all. Tim Tebow was huge, he 100% was, but media was consumed different. And I think that Cam would have done better with the social media side, like right now. Cam Newton would have been bigger than Shedeur Sanders.
Did you see the Hunter Cam Newton stuff?
No.
Like I guess he said some things about him and he just ignored him on the sidelines.
No.
He was at the Colorado game. He was warming up and he went to go like dap him up and he just like.
Which I don't get because I mean Cam Newton was a absolute star for a long time in the league. You can't miss Cam either.
Put in Hunter Newton, Cam Newton.
Was it Shedeur? Yeah.
I don't know if it was Shedeur. No, it was.
That's Shedeur right there.
No, I know it wasn't Shedeur.
Look, he's kind of walking towards him.
It wasn't Shedeur. I'm telling you, it was Hunter. He said,
right there, Cam Newton on why Shedeur Sanders ignored him during the pregame routine. He set him on
Hunter.
some weird shit.
Type in Hunter too. I just want to see because I think he made a shirt. Travis Hunter ignores. Right. Yeah, right here. He waves him away.
Yeah.
Look, get out of here. Ooh.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Okay.
Yeah. There's no way you wave off Cam Newton.
Look at the hat and the stuff he has on. Does he have a cape on?
It's a poncho.
A what?
It's a poncho. Right? Or is that like a sweater tied?
Cam?
Yeah, it's like a sweater.
Oh, it's a sweater. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like.
Yeah. No, you can't with Cam Newton. All right, back to the Patriots. And kind of the thing I brought up a little bit is Godshaw's comments talking about how defensive players are freelancing and being out on their own. Is that a concern of yours of what is going on with the team if you've got one of the veteran players kind of calling people out in the media that way? That would never have happened with Bill.
This is the hard part when you're not winning football games. When everybody is under the microscope, the stress of I'm trying to do my best, you're trying to do your best, the coaches are trying to do their best. I mean, the crazy part is I don't know. I only know the feeling of not playing on a bad team. That frustration, I know that frustration, not being able to get on the field for the team that can't win.
1 in 15.
Yeah. So you're thinking, what the hell's wrong with me? I can't even get on this team. So to be playing on the field and trying, because listen, no matter if you win or you lose, you're just as beat up, right? Your body feels like shit.
It feels probably a little bit better when you win.
It does feel better, but you're still sore. Trust me. You're still dealing with something, right?
Well, at least in the locker room at the end of the game.
Like if you are one of the leaders and you're out there and you're doing whatever it takes, and there's guys that maybe aren't in the right spots, or they're not playing with the amount of effort that you feel is necessary,
or out for themselves.
Which is
that's
harder.
what he talked
about the NIL.
Yeah.
This is going to be the next 5 to 10 years. You're having an influx of individuals trying to play a team sport, which I've talked about before. It's hard to build a team when everyone's out for themselves. And the reason why great teams are so good, number one, they understand what to do, where to be, how to do it, but they also have the team mindset of, I know it might not be what my best interests are to jam this tight end up, but guess what? If I don't jam the tight end and he free releases, there ain't no way I'm getting to the quarterback anyway. They're going to just throw it over. We're going to eventually lose because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So, I think that the frustration side of playing and not getting the results that you want starts to become an issue when you're watching film. If I'm watching film, I'm marking like peppers. I'm putting a highlight. I'm putting an asterisk. Like, this is what I want. Like, exclamation. I want a guy that's passionate. And I listen to these idiots on the radio talk about, like, how can you take a guy seriously with the Guardian cap on? He wears the Guardian cap because he's smashing into people and he's trying to protect himself because that's what he's doing. He is coming in reckless.
Yeah.
Almost friendly firing his own teammates.
You're picking the wrong one to make that. Like, people are picking the wrong one.
They said on the radio the other day. I'm like, dude,
he's
a leader because he is a physical, hard no. And I don't remember what station it was, but anyway, they were saying like that Pep has, basically he was with the Giants and then he came here he was with the Giants, wasn't he? Yeah,
I think he was Browns, then Giants, then Patriots, wasn't he? Wasn't he drafted by the Browns?
Basically, what they were saying was he's never been on a winning team.
Yeah,
that's not his fault.
Yeah, no, it's
not his fault.
If you look at him, like Rodney Harrison was never really on a winning team.
He deserves to be on a winning team. There's plenty of guys that played on really good teams. Look at Junior Seau, right? Until he came here,
or Revis,
or Revis. Like, they played really great. You're gonna
say he's a shitty player because he played on the Jets,
and they just never could get over the hump.
Yeah,
right. And it wasn't their fault. It's a team sport.
Yeah.
So
the one thing to never question, I don't think, is Peppers. So you couldn't. You can't question.
I would never. No, that's a guy that if someone was to ask me, let's build a defense, he's one of the first guys. I'm taking that guy.
Yeah.
I want him.
What's in the NFL right now?
Yeah.
100%.
I want him.
Yeah. I mean, I was so happy when they signed him because I think that he's going to set the tone, especially when you get these younger kids coming in and everything. He's going to set that tone with them.
Well, my only concern for him is he plays so hard.
Yeah.
He's beating himself up to, say in the next 2 years, say they do get a couple pieces, they get the offensive line. Drake Maye turns out to be great. You can't play forever, right? He's already a veteran. So you hope that when things get better, it's not a situation where he went out there and freaking emptied the tanks and he doesn't have much left.
Yeah. He's still young. I think he's like 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's still there.
But think about how he's played his whole career.
Yeah.
He's
not playing till he's 40.
He's been doing that since he was probably 8.
Yeah, he's playing till he's like 34.
Yeah.
So he's got some years left. The other thing I wanted to ask you, do you find it all concerning, because I do, that every time Mayo has a press conference and it's not even prompted, he always has to say, especially with the Drake Maye stuff, that it's his decision and the Crafts and nobody else are involved in it. It's just his decision. He has to go out. Nobody asks him like whose decision is. He just finishes the conversation that way.
When you're the head coach, you have to take responsibility for what's happening on the field.
Yeah.
He's the one, like, when they pan to the head coach, they're not going up to the DC, the OC. When they show they do, but I'm talking when they're showing the coaches, it's the head coaches, right? And any when you're watching a TV copy. So at the end of the day, I mean, if you think back to when we had a bad game or we lost, Bill would say, I didn't get the team prepared well enough. Yeah. I didn't do my job. My job is to do this, X, Y, and Z. So he's taking accountability for the things that are going on right now, which do you respect? I respect that. I respect that he's saying it's my decision. Now, when does that, as far as like a fan, you have to respect that. I respect it because he's saying it's my decision. When I decide to put in so-and-so, I'll put so-and-so in. Now, what that does is it puts all the focus on himself.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at the head coach, Drake Maye. So it doesn't put or cast stuff to other people. And I think that goes back to being a player. I got to be better. I did this. I didn't do this well enough. I need to be better in this aspect. I made that decision. I made that call. It's just taking the responsibility, putting it on his own shoulders, which I think, I mean, personally, knowing him as a teammate, that's why he was a great football player. He's taking responsibility for what's going on right now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with it, but I take it from a different viewpoint. I'm taking it as he doesn't have say in it, and it is from above him. So he's trying to protect the people's decision.
What would you respect more? A coach that's taking the responsibility or somebody that's blaming somebody else?
No, I know, but he's not trying to blame anything. I just think it's not his decision. I don't think it's his decision if Drake Maye plays or not.
I think that
I don't think it's him.
If I was in the position of Mayo and I had to make the decisions and I had to protect, and I say this all the time, a young guy from putting himself in potentially not a good situation for the future, I respect the fact that he's doing that. And now call me a homer or call me a teammate, call me a friend. I just think that if you look at that response in those interviews versus Doug Peterson, or no, not Doug. Yeah. Jacksonville. He's blaming the players.
Yeah.
Of the coaches in this latest thing coaches aren't on the field. We can't make the plays. Like when you start to blame the players or you start to blame others, you look at Tennessee, that was a stupid play. I don't know what he was thinking. When you start to do that, players start to lose respect for you.
Oh, yeah. I'm not questioning anything about like Mayo having his players back or anything. I just think he's trying to deflect it from the ownership and the GM.
You also have to understand
who's making the call.
This world, the Boston area media, they're terrible.
No shit.
When we were winning Super Bowls, I would have to listen to the radio and I would literally hear people say, these guys suck, or that guy's terrible, or get him out of here. And I'm like, dude, we're 13-3 right now.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So now, and this is where the piling on thing, now in the last 5 years, the Patriots haven't been great. These guys automatically are just piling on because that's what they love to do. They love that shit, stirring the pot, piling it on. I mean, that's why, I call in the radio stations all the time. Like I called in the Greg Hill show yesterday morning.
Hey, you went after like Wiggy a little bit.
I did because he was saying my name. You say my name and you...
What did he say about it?
Basically like, where's Ninko at now with, not playing Drake Maye right now? Where are all these guys at? They're being quiet. So I just called in. I was like, dude, I'll give you all the facts on why I would not play him right now. And then I went through, quarterback pressure sack ratio, which number one in the NFL, the number one team for quarterback pressure sack ratio is Denver. They have a young rookie quarterback who has not been playing great football. After a game says, I threw it to the other team. He has the best offensive line in front of him, right? He's got a bunch of studs. Knicks.
Does he?
Yes. They're the number one in the NFL pressure sack ratio.
Oh.
at they're 6%.
I didn't think so. I didn't think that. But
Yeah. Middle of the pack, number 15 is Washington. Bottom of the barrel, Chicago, 28, and all the way 32, New England.
Okay.
So if you have a young quarterback, you look at Denver right now. They have the best, but okay, they beat a shitty team in the rain. They beat the Jets in the rain where nobody could throw the football. They couldn't throw, so they ran the ball. They have a good offensive line. So you look at Washington. Okay, they're playing well. Middle of the road. The Chicago Bears. Jacoby has a better QBR than Williams.
barely.
72 versus
Both
77.
terrible. Yeah.
Still.
But you don't think that Drake Maye, if he was in these games, forget development and all that, because I just don't really like that word because I think it's just used the wrong way. You don't think there would be a better outcome of what's been happening with Drake Maye in there versus Jacoby Brissett? Like if you had to win a game, like say Sunday's game is a must win because if not, Mayo and the whole staff gets fired if they don't win. Who are they starting at quarterback? The better guy, right?
But at what point does that jeopardize you building?
But I'm not talking about building.
Just
right
one
now.
game.
Just one game. Who are you
Just
starting?
one game.
Who you starting?
Tom Brady. Bringing him
No.
back.
Like of your quarterbacks on your roster. You're starting Drake Maye, correct?
I'm going to have him run around, and I'm going to say play backyard football. I don't care what the play is.
But then
hit your back foot. If you feel pressure, get out of the pocket. But
you're going to start Drake Maye.
That's not
though.
running the offense.
But you're going to start Drake Maye, though, right? If you're going to win. If you're going to win a football game, you're starting Drake Maye.
Why are you asking me this right now?
It's a fair question.
If I had one game.
Yes.
And I'm coming back. So, yeah.
Yeah, Drake Maye.
Yep, and Ninko's coming back. I'm going to play left end.
But here's the thing.
Left outside backer.
This is the problem with kind of what they're doing in the media. So Van Pelt is out there today saying he was asked, is the state of the offensive line impact Drake Maye's timeline? He said, right now, we're just trying to win games on Sunday. I'm going to say no to that. It does not affect it. But that's the thing, though, is so like everybody's admitted, right, that Drake Maye outplayed Jacoby Brissett in the preseason because Mayo just came out today and said it. Or not today, 2 days ago. Look at
the majority of people in the preseason. They play really great, and then they go in the regular season, and they're not playing twos
I understand
and threes.
that, but they're saying in practice he's destroying Brissett in practice.
Good, let him do that and build his confidence up, and then maybe when he gets in the game and is the guy, he's better off than he would be week 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 versus teams that don't respect the run or don't care about the play action, and they're like,
this is the perfect team to go against, though, to do that, though. This one's the perfect game. You know it. It's the perfect game to put him in. I mean, he's your backup quarterback.
I'm thinking week 9.
You said last week it was this week. You said you. I think this would be another good like montage one, TJ, that he comes back. Ninko saying it's the perfect time.
I don't have the freaking answers.
1 month. I
don't have all the answers, man. I don't know, but still, now I'm looking at. You lose David. You lose. You have.
But you can't think that way because that could always happen. That could always happen. So the thing is, if you're going to do that, right? If that's the mentality you're going to have, this kid's never going to play it down in the NFL.
He's gonna play it down.
No, but here, if everybody's thing is the offensive line isn't good, what has shown you in the last 5 years they're going to fix that? Nothing's shown you that. Like nothing could point to. You can't point to something and go, all right, they're going to go spin on the offensive line, or they're going to go draft the right way for the offensive line, because the last fucking like 10 draft picks for the offensive line have been guards and centers.
Who drafted those guys?
Well, this past year was Elliott Wolf.
How about before?
It was Belichick. But you also had decent tackles then.
They've missed on a lot of picks.
But you had tackles then. Trent Brown was playing at a high level for a long time. Yes, he was.
The last couple of years,
up until
Trent
last
Brown
year
was checked out.
Last year he checked out.
When he was playing
last
with
year he
Tom,
checked out.
When he was playing with Tom,
he had that really good.
He went to Oakland.
He had a really good year with Mac Jones.
He was checked out.
He was good. He's much better than anything they got now. Like when you decided at the beginning of the year, okay, my plan is we're going to have Vidarian Lowe and Chucks Okafor as our left tackles. You screwed your whole season up. Like, that was your choice. Like, you chose to do that. And it always comes down to, right, everybody wants to talk about, like, who it was, Brady, Belichick, and all that. Every home in New England is always going to debate, is it Brady, is it Belichick? Nobody says if it was the Krafts or Elliott Wolf or anything like that, because it's always those two. At this point in time, it's the Krafts' fault for even hiring Elliott Wolf to do this job, to put together this shitty offensive line, like just to put it together that way and spend no money on it, put no resources on it after you basically invested, let's face it, the next 5 years of your franchise to Drake Maye, and you've done no favors to him. And I don't think you're doing any favors anymore because it's everybody's debate is that the offensive line isn't good, so Drake Maye can't play. Well, this guy's never going to play then. He's never going to play. But he also makes your offensive line better.
Option.
He makes your offensive line better, though, if you put him in there.
I know. I mean, his ability to scramble, yes, get out of situations, yes.
And his arm, and he's clearly seeing the field better than Jacoby. Jacoby didn't see the field well. Like, it's not like this is a surprise, right? Like, Jacoby had a really good preseason, and then, he's not playing well in the first couple weeks. He had terrible preseason.
Destroyed.
I understand that.
Pressure, hit.
Because it's a different NFL now. You can't be that stationary quarterback anymore. You can't. Unless you have an ownership group that's going to invest hundreds of $millions in your offensive line, you cannot have a stationary quarterback anymore.
I hated trying to catch guys that were fast.
But that's what it is, because then
it's quick,
doesn't
it's
that
movement, it's Lamar, it's Josh Allen, it's Hurts,
yeah. But the thing is, though, everybody's worried about the pass rush against Drake Maye, and that's the reason why they're not developed Drake Maye. You were a pass rusher. Who would you rather pass rush against, Jacoby Brissett or Drake Maye? I know you want to be friends with Jacoby Brissett, but you would rather pass rush against you would see it as, you would just see red, right?
I would.
Like, you would just be like, go
right now. I would love to pass rush.
Yeah.
It'd be great to pass rush right now.
You wouldn't, though, if Drake Maye was in there.
Well,
because then you have to.
Them and
that's what I mean.
He's like Purdy. He's like, if you go too high, he steps up. If you go too low, he gets out.
But how can you be an offensive line that way? It causes
you fits.
Like, if you're a tackle in this system right now with what you have, you're set up to fail because the pass rushers just know to run by you. That's it.
They're just pinning their ears back.
Yeah, but at least if you have Maye in there,
when did you get your law degree?
What?
When did you become such a good lawyer and arguing your?
Well, you're on my side now. You on my side?
No, I hate you.
You're gonna use this argument with other people. Like,
can we do picks?
Are you just upset now that like Wiggy's opinion is actually correct over yours?
No, Wiggy. Okay, Wiggy, whatever.
Oh, before we do picks, I want to actually go over one other thing that I found.
Yeah,
I was reading an article and it brought you up.
Oh, really?
It was Bill Belichick. He was on the McAfee show talking about Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy talked about how Belichick, he was like, basically one of the best coaches. He understood football more than everybody else. He learned a lot of things. But Bill Belichick said about Kyle Van Noy, he's very aware, instinctive, and crafty out there, comparing him to fellow former Patriot Rob Ninkovich in terms of their multifaceted skill set.
When I first met Kyle, it was my last year. So Kyle was traded from the Lions.
Yeah.
I did not think that Kyle was going to have
Kyle's an acquired taste.
I didn't think he was going to surpass me in sacks. He had come from Detroit, where that was way different as far as
they had him in the wrong scheme.
Yeah, they were having him do stuff that he wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah,
and then when he got to New England, when you first arrive in New England and you come from a team, especially like the Lions, it is like going on another planet as far as the defense. So when he first arrived, I'm like, he looks good. He's big. He's strong. He can run. But I don't know if he's going to be able to do all these different things. And then slowly but surely, dude started balling. And then when I, was gone out of there, and then he just kind of just took off. And he's done a great job. He's done a really good job, especially with, now it's frustrating at times because when you're with the Pats and with Bill and his defense, you're asked to do certain things that you look at other teams and you wish you could kind of let your hair down and get up the field more or pass rush more. Or not hit a crossing route or not hit a flash guy to the flat to slow him down so the guy can get over the top and get to their coverage, which that's what helps with a good defense. You got to have guys that do that, and it helps everyone win, because there's been plenty of times I hit that guy, the quarterback doesn't have anywhere to throw, and I get a sack. So Kyle was really good at coming in, learning, developing, gaining the trust of Bill. And that's what Bill does. He wants to put you in certain situations, and he's like a psychology guy. Like, oh, let me put him out there and see if he can handle this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he handled that one. Let's try a little bit more. Okay, he didn't do so well on that certain series. Let's dial it back. Let's keep it more simplified for that guy. And then if you can do everything, he'll just put it all on your plate. And you're like, oh, shit, I got a lot of shit to do. And Kyle was able to do that. And then when he went to Miami, I think that there was maybe a similarity to B. Flow's defense, but then more freedoms. But then you're also getting away from what you're comfortable in doing, you know?
He had a decent season in Miami.
He did, but they
just let him
screwed
go.
him with the money.
They screwed him with the contract.
Yeah. And then,
they came back here.
And he came back here. And then when you start to get older, they start to reduce those things. They give it to younger guys, and they don't want to. They want to make sure that you're not.
Yeah.
Then
he had
Then he went off and fucking balled out. And now he's got 48.5 sacks.
It's funny how you know that number, huh? What are you, 46.5?
Yeah, he got me now.
Yeah,
he's got me.
No,
good job, Kyle.
Definitely a
scrub ass tackles now.
Definitely a good player. But you did. It is different for you though, to defend you on this, that you probably dropped in coverage more than.
No, I had to jam stupid ass tight ends.
Yeah, and
jam
drop,
and drop
and you dropped
on third
a lot.
down.
But like, how many pass rushers in this NFL right now have to jam
Nobody's
and drop?
Dropping.
Nobody drops.
Nobody
drops
just
coverage.
rushing.
Yeah,
They're just rushing.
That's what I mean.
I mean, there's some guys. They used to put me to the drop. So when I was on the field with Chandler, they would say, "Rob, go to the drop side. Chandler, go to the rush side."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, great." So there was one in particular Monday Night Football game. We're playing in Miami. Matty P says, "You're gonna drop on every snap in this game. Every third down, you're in coverage." And I was like, I called my agent. I'm like, "This is some bullshit, man. I'm in coverage every freaking third down." I had 2 picks, which was I had a great.
What the hell are you complaining?
No, it was
good. I got 2 interceptions. You
I
called your
had 2
agent,
picks.
complained that you had 2 picks?
No. This is before the game. I'm like,
Oh.
This sucks. I'm not going to get any pressure. I'm not going to get after the quarterback. And then I had 2 picks. I had 2 picks and a sack, because at the end of the game they let me rush a little bit, and I got a sack on Chad Henne. But it worked. I mean, it worked out. But at the time, like, you're thinking in your head, I just want to get to the quarterback. Like, that's how I'm going to be able to make the most amount of money in my career. And, there was flex calls, right? So a flex call would be me going to the 3-man side. So wherever that was, if it was a 3-man surface, I'd look for the 3-man surface. I'd look for the back. I'd look for the down and distance. If it was 3rd and 5, I would go to the 3-man surface. I would try to hit a crossing route and then get to the sticks and hard read the quarterback. And if the quarterback broke out of the pocket, then I would add in, right? That was a lot of third downs, And so you're thinking like, okay, third down, like this is money down. This is where you can get to the quarterback. And now I look back and I'm like, okay, they trusted me to do those things. And then there's certain games, like the playoff game against the Texans, we put in a tap call to where I flop with the inside back or the inside tackle. He would go to D end and I would go to the back, and I would just back straight up and try to steal an over route. And they threw it right to me. Like I jumped, got an interception, right? It was a big play. Similar to the we were playing Denver, and they put me on the 3-man surface on a backer swap call. So I would look to see who was outside of me, and it was Wes Welker on the opposite side of the field. And Bill was like, "Hey, if you're to this side of the field and you look across the formation and you see Wes in the number 2 spot, he's running the over route, run to the over, and when you turn around, the ball's going to hit you in the face. And literally, everything happened. I was like, okay, I saw Peyton. He was going through his cadence. I looked to my left. There was a nasty split. I put my hands on the guy. I looked across the formation. Welker was running the over. I just ran right to him, and I turned around. The ball was like, I was like, oh. And now I can't return anything. I got my knees blown out on that one.
Just go right down.
Oh, I just
Hunter Henry'd
get
it?
crushed. No.
Henry just
Anytime
go
I
right
get
to
the
the ground?
football, I just get demolished. Like the offensive linemen just shoot for my legs, and I just get killed. You guys enjoying the show? There's a few ways that you can support the Dan and Ninko Show. First being subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Or you can become a super fan. Go to danandninko.com. First month is 50% off, so it's only $5 to subscribe. That gives you an exclusive chat with Ninko and I on Discord, access to exclusive content, 15% off our brand new merch store, which has some really cool stuff in it, our members only merch, and you get notified when we have special guests on the show. Did
I don't know how to run with the football.
You call your agent before that game and complain too?
When I called my agent before that game, I was young, so it was like 2000. It was like my first year actually starting. I'm like, man, I'm always dropping.
I'm always dropping.
It was fun. I had fun. I had a great time. Let's do the picks.
Let's do picks. Let me expand this lead.
This lead is kind of making me nervous.
I'm gonna open it back up again. All right, so you got tonight's game, Thursday night, Buccaneers at the Falcons.
I'm going Falcons.
I will go Buccaneers.
Okay.
Baker time. Then you're going to have Sunday at 9:30 a.m. You're going to have the Jets at the Vikings.
I'm going Vikings.
Which I think is in London.
I'm going Vikings.
I am also going Vikings. Then you're going to have Panthers at the Bears.
I'm going Panthers. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Paige is calling me.
I'm going to go Bears.
Hello, babe.
Hey, are you still doing fine?
Yep. I'm wrapping up. I'm doing the picks.
All right. Call me when you're done. I have to ask you something.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Think you're in trouble?
She never calls me right now.
Oh. Yeah. I'm going Bears. You're going Panthers.
I'm going Panthers.
Browns at the Commanders.
Commanders.
Colts at the Jaguars.
Colts.
I'm going to go Jaguars. I think that's their first win. Bills at the Texans.
Bills.
I'm going Texans.
This could be a runaway.
Ravens at the Bengals.
Ravens.
Raiders at the Broncos.
Broncos.
I'm going Broncos. I was hoping you were going to go Raiders. Cardinals at the 49ers. I'm going to go upset alert.
Whoa.
Cardinals in that game.
Okay.
Giants at the Seahawks.
Seahawks playing well.
Packers at the Rams.
Packers.
I'm going to go Packers. I kind of want to go Rams, though, but I'll go Packers. Cowboys at the Steelers. Cowboys.
Okay.
Saints at the Chiefs. Is that the Monday night game?
Yeah. I'm going Chiefs. The refs are going to make it.
That's the only thing is I think that if this was a real game, I would take the Saints. But
Chiefs.
I'm going to go Chiefs too because I do think that. All right, and then we're going to have Sunday 1:00 Dolphins at the Patriots.
I'm going Pats, baby.
I'm going Pats too. They're favored, and Dolphins stink.
Go.
This could be another wide open week. If you're down by 10, you're just going to quit.
It's over.
You're just going to quit?
No. I can fight my way back.
I mean, right now I could just kneel. I could kneel on you though, and just pick every game you pick, and win the rest.
Yeah,
of the season.
that would not be cool.
I could have did it last year too, and I didn't.
You got to pick what your gut feeling is. That's what I'm doing.
It didn't work last week for you.
The freaking teams suck.
So, what are the Ninko's keys to victory this week for the Patriots?
Don't fumble.
That's a good one.
Number
That's a
one,
key.
don't fumble.
That's terrible that you have to say that's a key for your team. Don't fumble
Don't
the ball.
turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. Number 2, take away Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is going to be the go-to guy. He's your key. Make sure that everybody else makes some type of play, not Tyreek Hill. Okay?
Who else do they have? Oh, Waddle.
Yeah. So, number 1, no fumbles. Number 2, Tyreek. Number 3 would be... Number 3's got to be score in the red zone. They are not good in the red zone.
It's a game. Get to the red
I know.
zone.
They got to score. They got a great kicker. Okay. So how about this? 1, protect the football. Number 2, stop Tyreek. And number 3, you got to play on, and you got to get to the red zone because their kicker is really good.
He's jacked, huh?
He is yoked.
I mean, I'm jacked.
Surprised he don't have the slip in his locker.
How the hell did he get released from a team? I mean,
I don't
killed
know.
that 63-yard field goal.
I asked him the other day. I'm like, hey, when you hit a ball that far, do you swing crazy hard? He's like, no, I can hit from like 70.
Holy shit!
He said he can hit. He said he can hit the ball 70 plus if he's really swinging away.
Wow. How do you get?
I don't know. Well, the league's silly. They go for like these skinny guys. Maybe he was too yoked.
I mean, he is. He looks like a lineman, like
Put him
like
in
a
tackle.
linebacker. Yeah, I think the key is going to be Jonathan Jones or Marcus Jones covering Tyreek Hill, because then you can put Gonzalez on Waddle and just by himself.
What about Gonzalez on Hill? Just put him on there.
But Jonathan Jones has done really well on him.
He's shifty and quick.
Yeah, like he's just done well on him.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, you got to pass for like 200 fucking yards. You just have to. Like, I mean, isn't
gotta
that like
throw
it's
the
the
ball.
NFL?
Got to throw the ball.
I don't think they've thrown for 200 yards yet in the game.
I don't know.
I mean, Mac Jones did like a bunch of times. And then the third would be you gotta be able to get at the quarterback here. I mean,
Pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, but you also then it's got to be the right type of pressure, right? Because
you can't
Huntley
let
can
him
take
out.
off.
Yeah,
you can't let him have 60, 70 yards rushing.
no.
You're screwed if that happens.
Yep.
But I think it's a game that they can. I mean, this is probably their easiest game of the year without Tua in there and kind of where the Dolphins are at.
I don't know if it's their easiest.
At home, the way the Dolphins have been playing. I mean,
It's not going to be.
What's an easier game?
No, I'm saying in the future. Don't they play some teams that look so shitty right now? They're playing Tennessee. They don't look great. They're playing Jacksonville. They don't look great. So like this is a game you
I
should
think
win.
Miami looks worse than both of them, though.
What's that?
Doesn't Miami look worse than both of them?
Yeah. So they got to win this game. It's a must-win game.
Yeah. You think Tua's ever coming back?
No. I mean, he's going to come back, but I don't think he should. But it's up to him. Let him play. I hope he's okay. I hope he doesn't have another one, but when you play football, you get hit.
Are you going to London, by the way?
I am staying home.
Oh, I'm going to be in London.
I will be here. You can.
Yeah, I could go with Malcolm to London?
Malk's not going.
Why?
He went to Brazil.
So who's going then?
I don't know.
You're going to
I
end
think
up going.
Gaskowski might be there.
You're going to end up going.
I don't think I'm going. I really want to stay home.
Why? It's an easy flight.
It is, but I just.
What's wrong with London? Have you been to London before?
Yeah. Food is subpar.
It's fine.
Do you like the London food?
Get like nice fish and chips.
Fish and chips?
You don't like fish and chips?
No.
What?
Gross.
You don't eat seafood?
Not fish and chips.
Why?
A freaking battered fillet of fish and freaking basket of French fries and tartar sauce? Ew. Ew.
What seafood do you eat then?
I'll do like lobster. I'll do
high end.
A little shrimp or something. Come on.
Really? You don't
I
eat
do
fish and
not eat
chips?
No, my dad eats fish and chips, and every time he orders it, he's like, "Oh, I'll get the fish and chips." I'm like, "Ew, it's gross." Do you like the McDonald's fish sandwich?
No. Like a real fish
So
and chips. So
gross.
they have like this market.
Where's
in
the fish
London.
coming from? The freshest.
Ocean?
Oh yeah,
It's
the freshest.
It's a white fish. It's like a deep white fish. It's like a haddock.
Deep haddock.
It's like haddock. What's wrong with that? It's
gross.
tasty.
It tastes gross.
You go to the place though that wraps it up in newspaper and everything. That's the best.
And then your breath smells like fish.
Yeah,
It's in your beard.
yeah. What are you just letting it fall everywhere?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had fish and chips in London?
I don't. Yeah, I've had fish and chips, not in London.
That's the problem.
I don't love it. It's not my favorite.
You get shepherd's pie.
I like shepherd's pie. I'll eat that.
This high-end restaurants in London. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like they have
they serve fish and chips at high-end restaurants.
Yeah. Or like takes on it and stuff like that.
No
London's
thanks.
good. How long have you been in London for?
Oh, I played there twice.
I know, but you were just there for like a day.
Yeah, 2 weeks or 3. Give or take 5 days, 4 days.
Yeah, but they just have you like in the hotel.
Yeah.
Like you've never been out in London, right?
I don't want to go.
Why?
I went to we did a couple tours, and it's just the cars it's just
Really?
The taxis are weird.
But you went to Germany.
Yeah, and then Germany wasn't.
Germany was terrible.
Yeah, I like America. I'll stay here.
You afraid to fly again?
I don't like. That's a long flight too.
It's like 5 hours.
It's over a big body of water.
Is that what it is? They go up the North Pole though.
Yeah,
You stay away
Good
from the
luck.
water.
The freaking polar bears eat you up.
You're like getting like all like
I don't like flying
wigged out
that
about
far.
flying.
I don't.
But you went to Germany. It was further.
I
It's
didn't
twice
like,
as far.
I didn't like it. I know. I wasn't a fan.
You've been to Africa.
You know how many times on the flight I kept thinking, like, what if the plane just drops out of the sky?
As Malcolm's just laying on you.
I kept thinking, like, I don't want to go to the bottom of the ocean right now. All right.
You need to take like a Xanax and fly.
I
or
probably
something.
need Xanax.
Yeah. But that's probably a wrap for this
wrap.
week. We're gonna see what happens.
Let's see what happens
this Sunday.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. But check us out next week. You can see us on Twitter, Instagram,
Hopefully
Facebook,
I'm not down
TikTok,
10 freaking picks.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you guys. Go Pats.